Okay, this is a guide on how to play Feral Druid in PVE. We're just going to go through the talents and then also the rotation for Feral Druid so you can do more damage in your raids. And your dungeons too, but more so when you do BFD. So first of all, we'll just quickly go through the talents. You want to have 5 and improved wrath, not because you actually use it, but more so you can raise natural weapons. Okay, increase the damage you deal with all physical attacks in all forms by 10%. It's a bit of a no-brainer, in my opinion. And then also, the reason why you take natural weapons is so you can take Omen of Clarity. Okay, which means that when you're attacking, when you're casting spells, you can get a clear casting proc, which makes your next attack cost no energy when we're looking at Feral Cat. And I'll show you in the rotation that you want to save clear casting procs to use Shred, but we'll get to that in just a second. And then for your last 5 points, you want to raise Fura, okay, which gives you 100% chance to gain, of course, 10 rage when in bear form, but more so in cat, you get 40 energy. So what happens is, when you shapeshift, and let's say you've used all your energy, you can go back into human form or like non-feral, shapeshift back in, and then you've got 40 energy, and I'll go through that in just a second. I've got some mobs here that we can try and demonstrate on. Unfortunately, there's no training dummy in WoW SOD, but that's okay. We just have to do what we can. With your rotation, you want to start off with Tiger's Fury, this one down here. Okay, Tiger's Fury increases damage done by 10 for 6 seconds. So before you start a fight, you want to use Tiger's Fury. You've got that buff. You do lose a bit of energy, but ideally you want to start the fight when your energy gets close to full and you still have Tiger's Fury running. So then you get the bonus, but you're also not energy starved. Once you do that, you want to use Mangle to build up combo points. Okay, Mangle is your go-to to build combo points. You don't really want to use Rake. It's not as effective, doesn't do as much damage. Of course you get the bleed, but mathematically it's not as strong. Once you've used Mangle, you have 1 combo point. Okay, so I'll demonstrate on this guy here. Right, you use Mangle once, then you use Savage Roar. Okay, that gives you a 30% damage buff. You keep using Mangle until you hit 5 combo points, then you use Rip. Okay, you need to have Savage Roar. That's a rune that you need to get. There's guides all online about how to do that. Savage Roar on your legs. Of course, you need Mangle on your gloves, and then you also need Wild Strikes, which is just acts as Wind Fury. Just gives you a little bit extra damage when you're completing this rotation. Okay, they're necessary. So once, oh, that guy's taking it off me. But if I go here, Mangle, Savage Roar, Mangle, Mangle, Mangle. You want to keep doing it until you get to 5 stacks. Okay? If you get to 5 stacks and Savage Roar is still running, then you use Rip. Okay? If your Savage Roar runs out, then you want to do whatever you can to ensure that Savage Roar is running at all times. Right? So if you've got 4 combo points, for example, Savage Roar is about to run out, you don't want to go for the Rip, you want the Savage Roar. Because what happens is, the more combo points you have, the longer your Savage Roar will last when you spend it. So, for example, if you have a 29 second, which is 4 combo point Savage Roar, the next time you build up your combo points, you'll have enough time to get 5 combo points, still have Savage Roar, and then use Rip, for example. And that's when you get to see some really good damage. What's really critical and where a lot of people go wrong when they play Feral Druid is that they don't use Shred when they get their clear casting proc from Omen of Clarity. Okay, so that's an essential buff that you need to have. Of course, I spoke about that before. But what happens is, and the beauty of Shred, or beauty of casting it while you have clear casting is is the benefit you get from Mangle. So if you look at the bottom right hand corner of the screen, it says Mangle the target causing 300% normal damage, yada yada yada, and causes the target to make 30% additional damage from bleed effects and shred. Right? So if you use Mangle on a target, the next time you use shred, you're getting a 30% bonus. And that's where you can see some huge numbers come in. See, I got clear casting proc here, right? I'll just entangling roots, so I can make. No, I can't do that here, damn. But I had clear casting proc. You want to use shred there on the boss, and it does some really ridiculous damage. Okay. And essentially, if you can get that timing right in a raid, so you're not just spamming buttons, but instead you're waiting for that clear casting proc and then using shred, you do some really crazy damage as a Feral Druid. Okay, so it's critical that you don't just spam Mangle. Of course, you use Mangle as fast as you can to build up combo points, but if that clear casting proc shows up and you've got Mangle running on your target and you use shred, huge damage. Okay, that's exactly what you want to be doing as a Feral to maximize damage. So then, you know, when you come to groups, you can do probably best damage in the dungeon if you've executed right, and of course you have the right gear. So that's pretty much how you play it. Unfortunately, there's no training dummy for me to show you exactly what it looks like in full motion, but if you can just remember these steps. Before you start any fight, make sure you use Tiger's Fury. Has to be there. You use Mangle to get one combo point before you use Savage Roar. You want to keep building stacks with Mangle. Okay? If your clear casting proc goes off, right, you want to use Shred. If you're using Mangle, okay, and Savage Roar runs and you haven't hit 5 stacks, use Savage Roar. If you're building up combo points, you still have Savage Roar running, and you've hit 5 combo points, you use Rip. And then the cycle just keeps repeating again and again and again. And then you come first in the damage meters, and everyone wants to have you in the group. And that's what we want essentially as Feral Druids, because it is an ST DPS class, and that's what we want. But that's it from the end of this video. Okay, I hope it was clear. It is difficult. There are no training dummies to really demonstrate what I'm talking about. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section below. I'll get back to you. But I hope this improves your DPS. And yeah, stay tuned for more content. I'll be posting more about Feral Druid because it is really fun in WoW Season of Discovery.